of fashion. Not anymore. She closed her magazine. Her thoughts kept straying to her mother, whom she had left behind the previous day in a retirement home on the outskirts of the town. It had taken a great deal of persuasion for her mother to agree to this measure. Indeed, Jane herself had been loath to take such a step. But her friends had insisted that she was badly in need of a break. And surely her mother wouldn't object, just for a week or 10 days. Jane had agreed that she did need a rest and a break from routine. She'd suffered from a nasty attack of flu during the winter and had never really regained her strength. She was working almost full-time as well as running her home and caring for her mother. When she had first broached the subject of the rest home, her mother had been adamant that she would not go into what she called one of those old folks' homes. "Not on your life," Alice Rigby had retorted. "I'm not going to one of those places where they sit around like zombies all day staring at the telly. I may be getting on a bit, Jane, but I've still got all my marbles." "But it isn't like that at the place I've found, Mother." Jane had visited the few homes that had been recommended to her, and had found one that she considered very suitable. It's called Evergreen, and it's more like a hotel than a rest home. You'd have your own private room en suite and your own TV, although there's a large one in the lounge as well that the residents like to watch together. They all seem very nice and friendly." "And why are they there, eh? Tell me that. Because their children can't be bothered to look after them, that's why." "I don't know, Mother. I don't know their life histories, do I?" Jane couldn't help feeling a little exasperated. Her mother was enough to try the patience of a saint at times, and Jane knew that she wasn't a saint, although she did do her best. She and her mother had never got along all that well. Even as a child, Jane had felt that her mother was overcritical of her, unwilling to give her too much praise for her achievements. She always felt that Mother would have preferred to have had a son, but her parents had been blessed with just the one child. Jane's father, Joe Rigby, had adored his little girl, and had done his best to ease the tension that often built up between his two womenfolk. When Joe had died, some 8 years ago, Jane had felt as though she had lost a friend and ally, as well as a father. Fortunately, though, she was happily married by that time to Tom Redfern. They'd both been in their early 30s when they married, and they had had no children. They would have liked to have had a family, but no children had come along. Rather than having tests to discover why, they had decided they were very happy as they were, and adoption had never been considered. When Alice had started to suffer with osteoarthritis a year after her husband's death, Jane had persuaded her, eventually, to sell her home and go to live with them. It was lucky that Tom was easygoing and bore with the often difficult elderly lady. But it was a devastating blow to Jane when, 2 years ago, Tom died after an attack of bronchitis that had turned to pneumonia. The two women were left alone together and had to get along as well as they could. It was far from easy at times, and Jane knew that her mother would benefit from a change of company just as much as she would. "It'd only be for 10 days, Mother," Jane had told her. "Well, I have a holiday, and I'm sure you'd enjoy it. It's a big old house that's been modernised, and there's a lovely garden at the back where you can sit and relax, and a games room." "I can't see myself playing ping-pong," retorted Alice. "Not those sorts of games, Mother. They were playing cards and dominoes, and some of them were doing a big jigsaw puzzle." "Jigsaws, those are for kids." Jane sighed. "Well, I've done my best. You said yourself that I needed a break, didn't you? And it'd be a nice change for you as well." Alice didn't answer for a moment. Then, "Well, I suppose I might give it a try," she admitted. "And where are you thinking of gadding off to on this holiday?"